What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. I'm Grim Repair, and today I'm going to show you how to fix a compressor that won't turn on. Turn it on, we got nothing. Tools I'm going to use are a couple crescent wrenches, a flathead screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver, some Teflon tape, and a voltmeter. Yours might be set up a little bit differently, but it's going to be pretty basic tools for everything I've ever seen. First thing we're going to do is go to the power source and make sure we have power. Take our voltmeter, put it on volts, put it on volts alternating current. Mine's automatic, yours might be different. We're working on a 220 volt system here. If yours is a 110, you're going to check your power source differently than me, but you're going to do the same thing. We got power at the outlet, so we know it's not that. The breaker's not tripped. Now we're going to come up here and check if we got power. Remove this screw here. And you always need to be careful when you're working with electricity. We got power coming into the unit. So this is a switch here. It switches from, you're gonna have power here. Circuit completes when you flip the switch. Puts the power over here to the motor. So we're gonna turn this back on. I'm gonna unplug it, see if we have continuity between these terminals. And we do not on this white side here. We do on the black, not on the white wire. So that tells us that the switch is bad. And the part number for the switch is right here on mine. It should be on there somewhere. You can look for that. I'm gonna remove these screws here, or loosen these screws here so I can get the wiring out. So we're gonna have to switch that over to the new switch. Pay attention to where they go. You wanna hook it back up the same way. And we got this conduit nut here. We're just gonna twist it off with the screwdriver. A 1/4 inch nut here holding the green wire. Loosen that. That one's gonna slide out. Get the wiring out of the way for the motor. Put that up there. And I've got a nylon tubing in here. You're just gonna push this connector in and slides out. Push this blue thing in and that lets go of it. Now I'm gonna remove some of these auxiliary features on this switch. We're gonna have to switch over to the other one. The pressure relief valve and the gauge here. It's still tight, so you want to loosen it from this square part here. Pull that old tape off. Alright, now that everything's disconnected, we can go ahead and loosen this from the tank. Kind of want to count how many times it turns so that we have an idea how tight to put it back on. You don't want to split. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 7.5 times. Here's the new one. It's exactly the same as the one I took off. Now we're just going to put it in just like we took it off.
I was only able to turn the new one about 6 times before it started to feel pretty tight. You don't want to over tighten any of these things or you'll crack the switch.
Alright, there we go. There's also just a plug here that we're going to have to remove and put in the back over here. Put a little bit of tape on this gauge. There we go. Put this valve back in. Plug that tube back in there. Hook this motor wiring back up. This was also laying on the ground. Somebody's been in here already. It goes right there. I don't have the screw for it. I have to find that, but it clamps onto this wire here. Slide this one in. Put the conduit nut back over these wires before you put them into their terminals. Alright, we got the green wire tightened down. We're going to loosen these up, slide those back in. These bottom ones are labeled that they go to the motor. Top ones are labeled that they go to the line voltage. Put a terminal on there. It wasn't wanting to get in there. Probably going to do the other one too. That seems to be nicer. Put the button back on there. Switch feels good. Gonna turn it to on. Compare the new one to the old one for continuity. That one's good. That one's good. That was definitely the issue. You can see this one is working like it should. I'm gonna put the cover back on. I'm going to turn it back off, plug it back in. Before you turn it on, you got to give it a whack, because that's what everybody does with these things. And it should work. You want to check, make sure it's not leaking air anywhere.